I'm Louise from Cottar Safaris. I'm one of the founders and shareholders. We have a property in the Masai Mara, which includes a camp and a bush villa. We're very small. We were one of the first to become a long-run global ecosphere retreats. We were the first after the non-founding members. So the first to go through the long GER journey. And again, have learned so much from our peers. What makes us perhaps stand out in the Mara? There's lots of conservancies. We have worked with the community over a decade to develop a conservancy that is truly community owned. So there's 7,300 members to the conservancy that we lease and manage. We're also known for our impact activities. We've got 23. We developed them to be engaging and inspiring and fun, but that also showcase the issues that we felt mattered for the context in which we find ourselves. We are a best ecologically responsible property in Africa as awarded in the recent Safari Awards. So that's all my plugs done. I am going to do a short video and then go to some pretty unsexy things that probably don't sell tourism, but I think may be of interest. So this is literally a 20-second video. So our challenges and this session for us is very much about trying to share not the packaged sort of version of ourselves, but some of the things that we really face on that front line of being on community land and working in tourism and conservation. As mentioned, we work really hard with the community, not only to get a conservancy that was community owned, but to support the community in getting their own legal land rights. And so we supported 6,300 members and paid for the process to get their land adjudicated and title deeded. So in conservation, that's been a really long journey. It's not quite finished, but hopefully will provide a more equitable process for land ownership and conservation. In terms of community, in many of the other conservancies, there's a handful of men that primarily sort of own a conservancy. We've tried hard to really make sure it's equitable. And the Masai Mara, the Masai population is doubling every 6.5 years. So there is a genuine issue around population growth and impact, both in terms of human development and opportunity, as well as conservation and impact on biodiversity. In terms of culture, we have found, particularly with Maasai culture, there's a lot of negative showcasing, can the Maasai jump? How high can they jump for clients? And so we have worked with the community to try and perhaps show a different face of Maasai culture. And in terms of commerce, how do you balance trying to support 6,300 landowners with trying to run a business, with trying to support conservation? So trying to find a formula that works. Some of our solutions, so I've mentioned the land tenure and supporting the communities. I think one of the biggest sort of multi-generational, non-sexy issues we're doing is working with the Mar Trust in offering an integrated free health program for community members. We have health teams that come out with backpacks and deal with a lot of different issues and offer choices, including family planning choices. We've seen an uptake of 90% in family planning, which shows the area we're in is probably the most sort of removed from other communities in the Masai Mara and isolated. So we've seen a great uptake in family planning, and that will have a long-term impact, particularly when you're looking at population growth every 6.5 years on an environment that is already strained with overgrazing and so on. We, in terms of culture, have a great social media platform. With TikTok, we've got close to, I think, 100,000 followers now. And we work with the community to try and showcase what they want showcased for our culturally related posts. We are aiming and have had success to reach, we've reached 5 million views per year on TikTok. And some of it's really quirky and fun. It's very authentic. It's not professionally done, but we're very proud to showcase not only culture that you don't see perhaps, but also some of the things that happen on safari that are not the glossy lion, you know, baby lion or baby rhino, but more sort of the holistic component of being on safari, whether it's the cuisine or just, you know, the morning sunrise. So we're really trying to use social media to promote culture and engage in culture. And then in terms of commerce, we are trying to get that balance of metrics to understand where we sit with emphasis on, you know, profits, investments in community, investments in conservation and biodiversity and culture. I would say, if I'm being really honest, that we're not there yet. And there's a lot of room for improvement. We've won lots of awards and we're compliant on a lot of things and we do well relative to our competitors. But I think if we're being really, really honest, we can all do better. And I think for me, the next iteration will be to really have solid metrics that show the connection between conservation, community, culture, and our investments. So it's not just saying we do this, it's saying we do this and this is the impact it's had from investment to conservation, or from conservation to community, or from community practices onto conservation. And I think there's a lot of work to be done in that field, and there's a lot of work to be done to go to the next iteration of linking to biodiversity. So we're really excited about that.